Good evening, Fantasy Goats. What's up? It's your shepherd here, JC. We are going to continue in the series, providing you with the divisional outlooks. Today is the AFC West, which will include, of course, the key off-season additions via free agency, via the draft, what the outlook is for, of course, fantasy football, the players that we're going to be targeting from these teams, the players that we're perhaps fading, and the reasons why. But before we get into that, I'd like to say hello to the guys. I'd like to say hello to the AFC West's own William. AFC West.
Yes, sir.
How are you today? I got JX Fantasy, and I've got the man, the myth, and the double legend. The commissioner of multiple leagues. He's commissionering, and now the Rhino himself. What's up, everybody?
Good evening, everybody. I'm ready for this, man. Ready for this.
How's everybody on this fine Tuesday?
Great.
I am doing great. I am enjoying the hell out of basketball right now. The WNBA is not disappointing. These women are scrapping. These women are fighting each other. These women are fouling the crap out of each other whenever they go to the paint. That's the kind of physicality I'm looking for. And then we got Knicks and Pacers tomorrow. That's going to be a great one, too.
And WNBA is making you money, too, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I've hit a couple parlays from the WNBA, yeah. Yeah, these ladies are nice, man. These ladies can ball.
Leave some of that handicapping in the tank for the DFS.
Yes, sir.
I've got plenty in the tank, brother. This is what I do. I'm 4 years deep. This is what I do.
I know you got a lot in the tank. I will say this though.
Who I am.
I'm glad for that. I will say this though, just to touch up a little bit. Like, yes, you see me wearing my orange and blue. It's been a quarter of a century since the Knicks have been in this round of an NBA playoffs. These things have not grown on trees. The last time they were playing in the Eastern Conference Final, I think gas was like $1.50. I mean, like it's been,
not in California.
It's been a minute.
Babies now have real debt. That's how long
Yes. There are people that are sitting courtside. Actors, this dude Timothy Chalamet. I haven't seen any movies that he's in, but this dude is like
he's good.
Mr. New York Knicks. I'm not sure what his age is. I'm almost willing to bet that he was not alive for any of the Patrick Ewing series.
No,
I can guarantee it.
Very, very, very young.
Yeah, he was probably a baby.
Yes, we are aging ourselves a little bit, but that's okay. Yes, it is a big deal. I was in the city yesterday. There is something palpable in terms of energy, in terms of what you see coming off of buildings, people talking, they see you, they're like, what do you think of those? Like just that type of, there's a buzz going around Manhattan, which is to be expected. Yes, this is a big deal. The Knicks are New York's basketball team. There is another one, but again, I don't want to spend too much time on this. And as far as those women that you were mentioning are concerned, the WNBA, yes, there is. It's popular. There is some sort of there's a popularity to it based on those two polarizing figures of the sport. I don't watch it just because I just don't. Nevertheless, there's a lot of people that are talking about them. There's a lot of people that are talking about the sport in general. So kudos to that. All right, let's begin. We are going to get into the AFC West.
Yep. Oh, by the way, shout out to Natasha Cloud. She is on the New York Liberty now. She is my new favorite player. And I definitely want to go out and watch some New York Liberty games. I love the way she plays.
Fantastic.
Yeah, man.
The sport is gaining. There's like traction to it. I see it on the timeline. I see high profile people getting into arguments and beefing with one another about it. Yeah, no, there's something that's it's good for the NBA. It's good for the product. It's good for their sport.
I just hate when people make it about race. Like, please leave that out of it. Just talk ball, talk numbers, talk stats, It has nothing to do with their races. It's just who's good and who's not good. That's it.
I agree. I agree. It's just, it is what it is. It's almost like saying, it's like saying, like, money isn't the cause of your problems, or like, money is the root of all evil. I mean, but like, money is like essential in terms of damn near everything. Like, you could trace money down to basically everything, almost everything that's tangible. And when it comes to sports, and you have two figures, it's almost like race is almost like that. And again, I think those that are better thinkers, like I would like to think we are, could see that. Right. We don't have that type of tunnel vision and see past that.
That's what it is, really.
That's what I would like to think, that we see a bigger picture.
Right.
Speaking of what's good for sports, you know what? Kansas City Chiefs, whether we like them or not, they are good for the NFL. They're good for the NFL. That's for sure. But we saw what happened to the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Okay. Last year they won 15 games and they only lost 2. One out of those 2 regular season losses was in week 18. You really can't even, I wouldn't count that. I'm pretty sure that was the Broncos, correct? The Broncos dog walked them week 18. And
that was Carson Wentz.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. However, the Chiefs now are the hunted, and that's a good thing. Now, what did they do this offseason? I mean, look, they re-signed a bunch of their players. They lost a key player who was playing out of position. We all know that, where he is, Joe Tooney, now in the NFC North. They did a lot to secure the majority of their players. They re-signed Amenahu. They re-signed Nick Bolton. What else did they do? Yeah, and they draft. Okay, who did they draft? They lost.
I like the Oregon linebacker that they drafted. He is a guy. Yeah, Massa. He is a guy. Like, he's the kind of guy that, like, when you watch his tape, you can see him fly off the screen. Like, you can pinpoint him from a mile away. Like, he's that kind of dude, and he brings it at the point of contact. I like him a lot.
He was somebody that I was hoping the Rams would target, but
he would have been great on the Rams.
They did good, so we're AFC West, so we'll do that.
How much stock do we want to put into Josh Simmons now? Drafted number 32 overall. I mean, he comes from a good school, Ohio State University.
My guy.
Yeah.
I mean, no. I mean, like, again, he was graded well, right? But then at the same time, like, how many tackles went ahead of him, or how many linemen went ahead of him? So, like, again, I don't want to. I'm not trying to knock him down or
there's a reason, actually.
Yeah.
There's a reason. Yeah, he had a. Oh, go ahead, Jax.
Yeah, no, there's a reason why, and this is one of the typical great teams continue to be great teams pick. Because of injury, Josh Simmons fell down to pick 32. Through 6 games I think he played, he was tackle number 1 by a long shot. He was tackle number 1 by a long shot. A
mile. Yeah.
But because of the knee injury, unfortunately he fell down to 32. If he didn't get hurt, he would be a Cleveland Brown today. But because of the way that the world works and the magic that Andy Reid continues to use, they just get the best tackle at pick 32 without even having to work hard for it. So, it is what it is.
Rich get richer.
He can step in crap and smell like roses.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that was another point that I was going to make. It's that, like, you have to trust the system that's already in place. You have to trust the people who have already been doing it. And it's like they've been, turning over bodies on the offensive line for like 7, 8, 9 years now. And they just hosted their 8th straight AFC championship game. So it's like, when people like that get a talent like that, you can only, the safest bet is to assume that they're going to maximize him.
Yeah, and they also signed the guard, the 49ers, the best guard the 49ers had, Jalen Moore. Too.
Right.
You short that side. So that's kind of, I see your messages, Hussein. I see you, brother. I see you.
Hussein talking trash through the chat.
Hussein's like, acknowledge me.
Yeah.
Acknowledge me.
Hus, you better get ready to have a great victory lap this year because I think your Niners are bouncing back, brother.
Well, that's a different night. So
yeah, of course, yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
I don't anticipate a week going by moving forward where we're not touching up on at least one or two San Francisco 49ers, at least, especially on offense.
Got to.
Especially, I mean, like it's the nature of the brand 49ers. But yes, to back Rhino hit it on the head. Yeah, we'll get into them a lot more in depth. How about the fact that the Chiefs also drafted Jalen Royals to perhaps be a little weapon in this wide receiver room, and their final draft pick, right? Their final.
Yeah, he was so late. It was all the hype that was around him before the draft. I thought he'd go higher.
Yeah. Do you guys know why he slipped?
What's that?
Do you happen to know why he slipped?
I heard there was some potential injury thing going on there with him.
No.
Yeah. I heard it was an injury thing. Was it something different? Did you hear something different?
I don't know, because I thought, like Ron said, I thought he was a highly touted prospect.
No, he is. He was.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like I didn't hear anything about him falling or any reasons why he would.
Yeah, I think the last two picks that Kansas City had was Rashard Smith and him were two of their best picks.
Rashard.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh my God, Rashard Smith.
Rashard's 100% one of my guys. Rashard's going to be used in so many different ways.
Yeah.
I think he is going to be fantasy viable.
It might take him a little while, but I do think that he's gonna at least contribute on special teams early. I have a theory that this season that the Chiefs defense is going to take a step back, but their offense is going to take a step forward.
Well, especially a healthy Rashee Rice,
right?
You're worthy. You add Royals and you add the Juju and
Noah Gray was coming on late last year, so he's going to be involved. Kelsey's still going to get sprinkled with a couple targets.
I think with all the weapons they have now, I think Kelsey will probably take a step back a little bit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he'll probably have some games where he goes off, but I don't think he's going to be consistent.
That's not so.
He's going to be a great best ball pick this year because he's going to come at great value, and then he's going to have every once in a while he has an explosion game that could win you a week.
Yeah.
If you're drafting Mahomes in best ball, I can then see you maybe wanting to go get Kelsey in the later round, just so you could have that stack. But other than that, I can name 12 sniper tight ends right now that will go ahead of Travis Kelsey. We saw his age decline. I mean, I don't want anything to do with Travis Kelsey. The wide receiver room is interesting. I think we're all interested to see what year two is for Xavier Worthy. I think we're all very curious to see how Rashee Rice, whether he's fully healthy, how many games is he playing? Maybe all of them. Maybe he misses a couple. But I think the bigger question for any of us would be that injury last year. Whether he's ready or not, he may start off slow. Just same thing that happened with Isaiah Pacheco last year, how he attempted to come back. He was a shell of himself, and now they've re-signed Kareem Hunt again just because of that security. They went and drafted this dude in the 7th round out of SMU, who JX Fantasy's deep sleeper.
A converted wide receiver.
I don't think it's that deep. I mean,
I think it is.
We're talking about Andy Reid here, and the when I see Rashard Smith, I think of what's his name? The running back who played for them a year ago, with Pacheco. Help me out here. He was number 1
Oh, Jerick McKinnon.
Jerick
CEH.
McKinnon.
Yeah.
He's Jerick McKinnon juiced up.
Yeah.
I can see that.
He's McKinnon 2.0. Hey, it's possible. It's possible.
I can see that. Yeah.
I also want to say one more thing really quick here. I don't want to fade Kelsey too hard. Okay?
No.
So, because in the decline season, he still had 97 catches.
Mm-hmm.
He still had 900 yards.
Mm-hmm.
If the decline is still coming, he's still potentially a top 10 tight end. Even if he goes down to 70 catches and 750, I feel like that value is still too good because I feel like he's going to go really, really, really late.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of people that people pick over him, and he's probably going to finish ahead of him.
Yeah, because everybody's going to go for ceilings. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's already the most unpredictable position. It's the position that is, in my mind, the most touchdown dependent. And if they are already sporting out dudes like Worthy, dudes like Rice, dudes like Hollywood Brown, I don't know how much ball, even if it is Patrick Mahomes' ball, to go around to everybody.
Right.
Maybe they're going to play. Maybe Andy Reid and Kelsey are going to try to again load management. I don't. Again, we're attempting to play both sides of the coin here with Travis Kelce.
The one last thing too, I think the Chiefs would go as far as the offensive line lets them go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, yeah. Let's see what the addition of Josh Simmons, the addition of the guard from the 49ers. Again, we all saw it with our own eyes how they got exposed.
Yeah,
not everyone's going to have the best 4-man pass rush, but I guarantee you that teams are going to be hunting for the Chiefs.
Yep.
Especially within their own division, which is why we're going to move on to the Denver Broncos. This was my pick to win the division.
Yeah,
that's before we start. I was going to say this division is so stacked that I think 3 out of the 4 teams can win the division, and the 4th team is Raiders. So they're not going to make the playoffs this year. They're 1 or 2 draft classes away. But I think I think Chargers, Broncos are. I think it's going to be really, really close. It's going to be the most competitive league in NFL this year, which I'm all for that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, 3 made it last year, right?
Yeah. 3 made it last year. All 3 of them.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
3 made it. 3 made it out of 4. I don't think we've ever seen 4 make it. Not since they realigned all of it.
Yeah, that's why they did it. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, if I had to pick out of them, who wouldn't? Yeah, I would probably have to go with the Raiders. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Nevertheless, I mean, it's we'll still get to the Raiders, but let's talk about the Broncos. There's a lot.
Let's talk about them.
There's a lot.
I'm scared of them.
Me too.
Absolutely.
Me too. Me too.
Because you know who they're building like. They're building like the Eagles.
Yeah.
They are building like the Eagles. They are worried about bulldozing you off of the line of scrimmage and running the ball. I know everything got overshadowed by the emergence of Bowman Nix, but I mean their offensive line finished top 3 in overall grade, top in run block win rate. Oh man, I love them dudes. Shout out to Quinn Miners, belly out while he's blocking. I love it.
And they got the mad scientist as their head coach calling the shots, so they could definitely be dangerous. So my rebuttal to the Broncos is the fact that they are currently very top heavy on defense. So if the guys that they drafted, if they were to miss any time or they were to get injured, I think there would be big holes on their defense. I don't think it would be like big holes to where they're consistently getting blown out or they're not a competitive team anymore. Absolutely not. But I do think that those top heavy talents would make up the margins in the few wins that they get if those guys were to get hurt.
Top heavy on defense. So give me a number.
The defense, are they top heavy?
Yeah. How many is top heavy?
Well, when I say top heavy, it's like there's at least one person at each position on defense where if they got hurt, it would create a significant hole because they don't have too much depth behind that person.
Okay, I understand that.
I mean, their defense is pretty wild.
It is.
No,
on paper, it's nuts. Yeah.
I mean, like,
JX, go please.
No, I'm just because I'm thinking like last year. I mean, Surtain got hurt last year. Riley Moss got hurt last year, and they're still pretty dominant.
Of course.
And they drafted Barron.
They drafted Jahdae Barron. I mean, this defense is looking. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm terrified of this team.
And they signed.
It looks legit.
They signed Dre Greenlaw, and they signed who's
Hufanga.
Yeah. I ain't gonna try that.
And Jonathan Cooper. And,
I think they did. Yeah. So that's so when I ask, AB, give me a number for top heavy because I'm sitting here right now and I'm counting like basically 5, 6. I keep going through like potential Pro Bowl players on this team.
Yeah,
absolutely. They look amazing on paper.
This team is designed to like not just like get after you, but like you're gonna have a tough time passing on them.
Of course,
running, passing, thinking, game planning.
You're gonna have a tough time against this Denver Broncos team, Rhino, as you put it. I mean, like they're loaded all over the place. Now, we saw what Bo Nix did his first season, which was a very, I hate to use the word manageable system quarterbacking. I don't really view it that way. But I do view it as, let me preface this. I think that will, I used the analogy yesterday, how the jockey on the horse, now when they come around the far turn, they let the reins loose. I think we're going to see some of the reins become looser for Bo Nix. More playbook will open up. We know that they have a ton of wide receivers now. They're all B to C average, B's and C's. Maybe this rookie could find himself a nice little role, find himself snaps. I'm not going to bet on him. I'm not going to bet on this dude yet. There's two. You got a Devon Vile. I'm going to work my way up now. You've got a Troy Franklin. You've got a Marvin Mims. You've got a Cortland Sutton. You've got a Evan Ingram who could very well be the Joker here. That's your tight end, Sniper.
Right.
Yeah, big time.
There's your tight end, by the way, who you're going to be able to get at a nice value in the mid rounds.
And
Sean Payton with a move tight end, dangerous.
We know that he has
look at Graham. Look how Graham was when he was the tight end for New Orleans with Payton.
We know that Evan Ingram's got a nice ability of making catches. Maybe a little allergic to the end zone his last season, his last full season, right? His last full season. But yet again, so was many of these guys. Like Trey McBride was kind of allergic to the end zone too. So I don't want to again. Can we expect a couple of more touchdowns out of Evan Ingram from his healthy 2023 season? Yeah, maybe anything's possible when it was only 4.
Payton's gonna get wide open.
If Evan Ingram's going to be on that field as much as possible. I'm not sure who the odd man out at wide receiver is going to be, or if there really is an odd man out. Again, we know Sean Payton's going to. At least he did last season. Like he had like different rotations for these guys, and that includes Cortland Sutton, who.
Cortland Sutton is the wide receiver 2s, the wide receiver 1s.
He's the wide receiver 2 of wide receiver 1s.
Yeah, I mean, there's a positive and negative with Cortland Sutton, right? Like, and especially as a fantasy aspect, I look at him and go, he's going to be the most consistent wide receiver 2 you're going to ever going to see, right? Like
solid floor.
Yeah, but like I said, he's never going to just be amazing for you either. And that's kind of look at their whole entire wide receiver core, because who's going to exceed him in targets, catches? Nobody.
Sutton will give you a strong 3 games where he's a wide receiver 1. That's fun.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
He was the one that was the most dependable for Bo Nix. Bo Nix went to him a lot last year in emergency.
Yeah.
Where's Pat Bryant stand?
His hands are amazing.
What do you think? Where do you think Pat Bryant stands in the wide receiver room?
We've got to see him out there first because we don't know how much he knows. We don't know how comfortable he is. So it's like when it comes to the rookies, we've got to see some action first.
Cliche alert. We're gonna have to see how this plays out in training camp.
Yeah.
Because that was like my point though, because like no one's going to exceed Cortland Sutton, so like my expectations for everyone else are just so low.
Right, exactly.
Let me run this by you. No one's going to exceed Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton's not that good.
But that's the problem. That's the point.
I'm telling you, he's not that good.
But that's the point. They don't have anybody who's an alpha.
He can't separate. He cannot run after the catch. He's tall. He's got good hands, so he's good with contested catches. Mm-hmm. So, but like, what if it's like Devon Veal, Marvin Mims? Maybe it's the rookie. Maybe it's Troy Fat. That's why I want to.
Let me ask you, what's more likely, the consistency of Cortland Sutton, of what we know he is, or that end of season target share increase explosion that we saw from Marvin Mims? I just think it's the latter. I think it's the consistency.
Marvin Mims, I think he drops a little bit because I think a lot of the plays, a lot of catches were out of the backfield last year. So now with the addition of RJ Harvey, that's going to take some shine away from him. If Troy Franklin can make that second year step, there's your downfield threat right there, who had chemistry with Bo Nix in Oregon.
Right. This whole receiving room is a mess, man.
It is.
Are you drafting any of them? Well, you did.
Only Sutton.
I drafted.
Yeah, only Sutton at a low ADP.
I have Mims on roster in the way too early, not too early redraft. I'll look to target Mims that way.
Take a shot on him. Yeah, exactly.
I would too. But if there's another wide receiver that I know ahead of him that I'm second guessing too, I might take that receiver, especially if it's in the right system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you know they're gonna have a role.
Like what we were just talking about, like me personally, in like the late rounds, I'd rather take Brashard Smith than Marvin Mims.
Yeah, fair.
Just for the not knowing, but I just can't rely on any of these receivers except for Cortland Sutton to be my wide receiver too.
Or just your flex too.
When you posed the question, JX, what I was thinking about in my answer, and then I wanted to say Ty, the consistency of Cortland Sutton, or like it's a great question. I think Sean Payton has seen enough. Yeah, he's got that. He's got the consistency check mark. But I'm not sure if I don't know if he's got a full handle on the wide receiver room just because he happens to be the statesman out of all of them.
Yeah.
With the most experience. But again, then I'm just gonna go right back to what I said. The cliche. We're gonna have to monitor that wide receiver room. That's a burning question to me, other than RJ Harvey, which we'll get to right in like 10 seconds. Yeah, that's the burning question. What could we make out of this wide receiver room? Do we have enough meat on the bone to have a potential league winner out of any of these dudes, including Cortland Sutton, if Bo Nix does take that step forward? Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, the RJ Harvey smoke is a who's first?
Probably 7.
That's where the smoke is.
Well, the smoke as in, like, can you elaborate on that a little bit? Where the smoke is?
The how much are you buying into RJ Harvey being like
from 1 to 10?
A top 12? He finishes top 12 RB. He's going to be the rookie RB2 behind Ashton Genty when this is all said and done.
Could be the RB1.
That's
Could be
your
like,
smoke. So your smoke meter is 10.
Yeah, no, I'm on fire. I'm not smoking. My house is burning. my house
Everything's
is on
burning.
The fire
fire.
extinguishers for your house,
Have
right?
you guys seen the meme with the little girl? The house is burning down behind it. That's me. My house is
That's you.
burning. Like I said, I don't know if you heard me, but run block win rate 74%, top 3 offensive line by PFF grading. They had Javonte Williams running into butts when there was holes as wide as trucks.
Yeah, right.
This works for RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey is a one-cut runner, and he can take it to the house. And
Yeah,
I
blazing
mean,
speed.
I don't know if you guys saw, but Sean Payton doesn't tweet a whole lot.
One thing he did, I did see that tweet.
One thing he did tweet was, "Look, my daughter like my second round pick.
Yeah, I mean,
I need to know he's bought in. He wanted RJ Harvey in the second round. Everybody said RJ Harvey's a 3rd round pick, a 4th round pick, maybe a 5th round pick. No, Sean said I want him in the 2nd.
She could have been standing next to Darren Sproles. I wouldn't have known that. I did see that, but I did catch that tweet. Look, again, it's not that we're not trying to buy into this talent and the landing spot. The what we perceive to be minimal competition that he has, being that it's Jaleel McLaughlin and it's also Audric Estime. At the same time, I'm gonna hold true to rookie running backs in their first season, maybe perhaps getting off to a slower start. If the dude runs for over 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns, I mean, like, it'll be a really good rookie campaign. But to be drafting him again, the RJ Harvey price happens to be better than Ashley Gentry, so I will sign a co-sign off on that for sure. Right, like why would I draft Ashton Gentry with the 11th overall pick when I could take RJ? What the fuck is with G? RJ Harvey. Yeah, like 4 rounds later. So yes, right. I am bought in on that. This team, I expect them to win 12 games. Maybe 13.
That's spicy.
I like that.
I don't think that they will be able to achieve that high of a ceiling because they don't have an elite receiving weapon that is not a tight end. That we know right now, of course. Yeah, that we know right now. And unless somebody emerges, that's why I'm not picking them right now to win the division. Unless somebody emerges in that room, there's a possibility that they come across some good defenses that have multiple good DBs, and they kind of, bully these guys and stack the box. So, and that's why I was talking about the margins, because without an elite receiving weapon, I don't see this team blowing out many teams, especially if they play, some good teams, because they were a playoff team last year.
Yeah, all you have to do really is score 21 points. That defense is that good.
Nobody's going to be able to score on them, unless they get hurt. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's a fair point. And if we all agreed that we all thought that the Denver Broncos were going to win 12, 13 games, and if we all thought that Patrick Mahomes was going to win the division again, this would be a boring show.
Yeah,
right.
That's what we pool our thinking together in order to help the Goats. In order to help you win fantasy. That's right. Speaking of fantasy, you guys ready to play in our Fantasy Goats Invitational, the second annual Fantasy Goats Invitational? Let's go. Play against AB. Go after him. Beat him. Go after JX Fantasy. The Commissioner Rhino, you think he knows fantasy? Of course he knows fantasy, but you know more than him.
Here, and I'm ready.
Then, of course, you got the Shepherd. Look, I left a link in the description section of this video. You can click in. Get in the league right now. I'll track you down. We'll go over any details, or if you want any further details in another way before getting into the league, just reach out to any one of us with our handles. But yeah, it's on. Registration is coming to a close. We only got a few more spots left, and then we're closing this bad boy up.
And somebody reached out on Instagram. There's a Fantasy Goat Instagram. You can reach me that way too for any information. And Hussein, yes, you're in 2 leagues with AB. You're in the
Oh yeah.
in the Invitational League 5 and then the IDP.
Let's go.
Man. That's my second wild
I'd pick the Denver Broncos to finish second.
Well, I picked this upcoming team to finish with a second wild card. If the Broncos are going to win the division, this team is also going to get a wild card. That would be the Chargers, because I do think the Chiefs will get. They'll get in. They're just going to get
But
a
you think
wild
they'll
card.
finish third?
I don't. Yeah, as a matter of. Well, I don't know if I. Wait. Hold on.
You okay, William? You're not having a heart attack with that? Your voice.
I am.
Bro.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos are going to win the division. Now, from there, who has 5, 6, and 7? I don't know if the Chiefs will finish ahead of the Chargers or the Chargers will finish ahead of the Chiefs. That part I don't care about.
By the way, you're not the only one. Like, I've seen a couple of graphics where like way too early playoff predictions where they have the Chiefs sneaking in as the 6th seed, which I don't know. To me, I feel like this is the Patriots all over again. It's like every single year people expect a downfall. Every single year people expect them to not win the division, and then every single year they win it.
And if they don't win the division, they make the playoffs. They're dangerous in the playoffs, period.
Right.
But
because that's when they turn it on.
But to that point, and I don't wish anything bad on any team. I don't. I really don't. But even when he said you do. Even when Brady was running the NFL, he got hurt one year. I'm not saying that Patrick Mahomes was going to get hurt, but I said it last year. The reason why the Chiefs weren't going to win the Super Bowl last year was because of attrition. You can't keep playing 20 games a year and just being great.
Yeah,
you can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he has been hurt.
Nobody.
But he has been hurt.
I mean, missing games. Like, I mean, it might be the time where like the big guys like Travis and Chris and like they might miss a big amount of games. And I don't wish that on nobody, but it just kind of is what it is when you're playing 20 football games a year.
I mean, hey, when you're playing 8 straight AFC Championship games, like at some point, it's bound to catch up to you. But again, this is exactly what they said about the Patriots. This is exactly what they said about the Patriots. They're like, eventually it'll catch up to them. Eventually it'll catch up to them. And then 20 years later and multiple Super Bowl years later, now it's like, okay, maybe we should have seen the dominance coming.
All right. Well, to that point, and I'm pretty sure we covered this on a previous show. At least just brought it up. Like we're gonna just like in passing right now. Even the Patriots had to go to Denver and Baltimore, and they lost in the divisional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, so it'll give the Chiefs a little bit of a higher draft pick, and maybe it'll like humble them a little bit. Although I'm not sure about humility in football in general.
Probably a little bit more motivation, maybe.
That's more like it. A little bit more motivation to get back on track. Absolutely. How about them Chargers? How about them Bolts? How about them Tyler Conklins and
little bro
Mekhi Becton? They re-signed Khalil Mack. That was big. They brought in Sniper Harris. If Sniper's still listening, you're
re-signed Mack.
Yeah,
they re-signed Khalil Mack.
Oh, okay, nice. Good for them.
They brought in guard, former Jet, Super Bowl champion Mekhi Becton.
Mekhi the Mountain Becton.
Mekhi the Mountain. Yeah, look. What else did they do here? They got themselves a couple of corners. Elijah Molden, Dante Jackson, Benjamin Saint Just.
They should scare you, Ron. You know why?
It's a good team.
Because year 2 of Harbaugh is the year where Harbaugh imposes his will on people. The year 1 is like he feels out the division. You know, they play solid ball. They underachieve, even though they technically overachieved because they looked much better than they ever did under Brandon Staley. So then now that they're improving, now the Chargers are going to want to punch some people in the mouth. And I think Justin Herbert is going to want to punch some people in the mouth.
Yeah, offensively, yeah, I agree. But their secondary doesn't scare me.
Yeah, fair.
That's it. Yeah.
And I don't think they're James. Right. Yeah, I don't think they're going to scare anybody on paper. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
what I
there's
mean.
there's a late round guy they drafted last year who actually turned out to be pretty good.
Tariq Still.
Yeah, still, yeah, he
Yeah.
ended up being pretty good.
And that's kind of what I think, to what he was saying, they signed a couple quarterbacks, but that's to make their defensive backs more add versatility to the backfield. It's not all pro, it's not the Broncos, but I think it's still very, very good. And their front seven is where they make their money. But what I will say, I think a big loss for them that no one really talks about. He went to the good side of LA. They lost Puna Ford. Puna
Yes,
Ford
he did.
That's
an
massive.
incredible run stopper. Like he knocks guys back. That's going to be a big loss for them.
Puna went to the Rams, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, he went to the right side of LA.
I love the Rams defense this year.
Yeah. I do think that a lot of teams were waiting to see what Asante Samuels Jr. what his the energy after surgery would look. So he might get re-signed by the Chargers. Depending how that looks, because
that's possible.
Yeah, he had the neck surgery.
Okay.
The neck surgery, the neck surgery.
Yeah.
You know what Asante Samuel Jr. is, right?
Yeah.
What?
Tell us.
Asante Samuel's son.
Which is
a dog.
A dog, yeah. A jet.
Hall of Famer.
Asante Samuel Jr. is generational.
Yeah, he is generational. Yeah,
Technically, yeah.
He's a legacy player.
That's generational. Yeah. That's generational. Two generations of Asante Samuel Sr. and Jr. that played in the NFL. Generational. Yeah. That's generational. Yeah. It would be nice if he does resign with the Chargers. Let's talk about this offense. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Ladd McConkey. Let's talk about
you want to talk about the wide receiver core first or the running backs first?
Well, let's stick with Ladd McConkey. What's the ceiling for this dude? Coming off of what, 70, 80 catches, 1,100 yards, 7, 8 touchdowns. I mean,
I don't know if it's.
I think. Go ahead, Jax.
Go ahead.
I'm licking my chops. I'm licking my chops with Ladd. Licking them.
So I just look at the way Harbaugh runs things. And last year, Ladd McConkey was running routes by himself out there last year. I don't think it's going to be the same. They added Trey Harris,
which I'm hyped about.
Yes, very good wide receiver. I think that changes things for them. Would have been a first-round pick if he, stayed healthy the whole season. And don't throw bricks at me, but Mike Williams is back too. So at least the chemistry is there with Justin. So
he trusts him. He can go deep and get his contested balls and have like 56, maybe 45, 50 catches.
Yeah, and that's what I see.
It's going to take Mike Williams 4 jump balls and him landing on the ground for him to not play for the rest of the season.
Well, there's that too.
I mean, like,
I think Mike Williams is going to be a non-factor. Do they even have his props up yet? Because it's got to be something ridiculously low.
Like, I had my finger on like the end stream button when I heard Mike Williams.
No, I was like, I can feel the incoming.
I mean, look, if you want, look, I think we have a better case with Quentin Johnston than Mike Williams.
Yeah.
Like I mean, they're not going to just cut and release a 4-year, a 3-year wide receiver. I mean, they're going to try to, like, hello, could you maybe figure this thing out? It's called your hands. This is what you do for a living.
He did better last year,
and he did much better last season from the prior season. Absolutely. So, like,
good receiving core with Trey Harris and Ladd and Quentin.
So yeah, JX. I mean, like, Ladd was running out there by himself more or less, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, like, because Quentin Johnson is just running. He had no hands. But all jokes aside, I am curious to see what the wide receiver that they drafted, Trey Harris, does. A lot of people are high on him. I'm indifferent. I'm not down on him. I'm not high on him. I'm not down on Quentin Johnston. I'm not high on Quentin Johnston because I've seen it with my own eyes. Someone's going to have to be the burner on that team because they now lost Josh Palmer to the Bills, who we expect to be the vertical burner there. So I think they like to have that downfield 9-route burner. I'm not sure who that's going to be. Maybe that's Trey Harris. Maybe that's Trey Harris.
Yeah.
So I just looked. So last year, Ladd had because he was the burner too. He was the burner. He was the slot. He was everything. Last year he had a 28% target share. Do we think that's going to happen again?
28% target share.
28%. Yeah, it was like 27.
I think the target share will decrease, but I think his efficiency will increase.
Yeah.
He'll get much better matchups. He'll get much lighter, boxes. They're gonna have to stack the boxes here.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna have to. Yeah. So I think that he'll benefit off of that.
Yeah. Are you guys buying into the fact that they're saying that Najee Harris will be the RB1 and then have Hampton come in?
I think at first, yeah.
At first.
Bingo. Yeah, this is one of my favorite debates to have every season because there's always a running back and then there's always another running back that got drafted high, one brought in through free agency, and then one that got drafted high or one that was already there. Najee Harris is currently making $1 million less than Omarion Hampton.
Damn.
Or I'm sorry. Najee's being paid $1 million more than Omarion Hampton. I'm sorry. He's getting $5 million, and Omarion Hampton, because of how high he was drafted, is getting like 4-point-something million. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to let Najee take the reins in the beginning. And Najee, who is a very limited runner, of course, I think he's still going to put up some numbers, and at the goal line, he's going to be valuable. But I think Omarion Hampton is going to break so many big runs, and he's going to be so explosive that they're gonna force feed him. They're gonna force feed him touches.
Yeah,
he's gonna be like Jahmyr Gibbs to David Montgomery.
It feels very Detroit Lions, right? Like they upgraded their power back. So you know how the Lions went from Jamal Williams to David Montgomery, and then they drafted their explosive guy. I think it's gonna be the same thing, and I think eventually it'll get to the J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards split where J.K. had 63% and Gus had 39%. So I think it'll be like that towards the end of the year, but Najee will take majority during the first half.
Yeah.
What you guys' thoughts on Rondé Gatson, the tight end they drafted? Oklahoma State?
Yeah.
Syracuse,
not Oklahoma State. Yeah, Syracuse. My opinion on him is that it's going to take him a while, so I'm not sure that he's going to factor in year one because they have other capable tight ends. Will Dissly is more than capable, so I think that's who will get majority of the snaps early, and then Gadsden is probably going to come on later on in the season to help them with their little bit of a playoff stretch or hunt for a playoff berth. And then I think that next year, Godson is going to be a really solid pick.
He has to become a better blocker, especially playing
exactly.
Yeah,
he's got to put on some weight.
Yeah,
I like this team.
Yeah, I like them too. They're a fun bunch.
I like Denver more, but I like this team. I like what's being built here. I think I do agree with the Najee or Marion Hampton splits, or at least something close to that. He's capable. He's a capable running back. I mean, we've seen him the last 4 or 5 years. He's a 1,000-yard rusher. He's durable as hell.
And that offense behind that old line that he had in Pittsburgh, if he can do that.
And here's a not so hot take because it is Najee Harris and it does get lost being that this is the it's like the little brother to the Rams. Let's not act surprised if they give Najee an extension at some point in this season this year.
And that's what I'm saying. Let's
not be surprised. It's that dude's still young.
Yeah, it just feels real Detroit Lions. It does. It feels like, it's just you saw those dudes guys over there. Let's do that. It's exactly what they're doing.
It's trying to
upgrade their power back and got them explosive running back.
Because Najee was a great prospect coming out. It's not like he was some scrub. So
Right.
it's like now you have two very good backs, and one of them has the potential to be elite.
No, I
And
agree with
he's
that.
selfless too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, he's a great team. He's an amazing teammate. Yeah.
And that's one of the most important things. We have like a backfield like that.
Mm-hmm.
John
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh played against Najee Harris.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
So I mean that's exactly why he went and plucked Najee Harris right out of free agency. Like, yeah, I want you. I like you. I saw you beat us. Let's go.
yeah.
He knows Najee Harris
For anybody who goes
firsthand.
for anybody who goes like very pass catcher heavy in the first couple of rounds of fantasy, if you wanted to draft both of these guys and potentially play both of them every week, I think you probably could. You could probably play one as your starter and throw the other one in your flex and like start another elite running back, beside them. But it wouldn't be a bad idea at all. Behind that line with Justin Herbert, like, yeah, they could eat.
If no, that I could already foresee that being a big topic of conversation, big time question coming up. We're early in the season. Can we start? Should I start O'Mary and Hampton in the flex? Do you have Najee? No, I do not have Najee. Okay. Well, I mean, and it's what it's really going to come down to is his usage, right? We're gonna have to see how much he's on the field, how early, what the exact role is. If he's got a clear cut in between the 20s, 40%, we know what his role is. And with the potential for it to expand. If we see that he's being inserted first quarter, 1st and 10 at the goal line, we kind of have an idea of what that role is, what that usage might look like. But again, that's why we have to play the games, Goats.
That's right.
That's why they play more than one game in Las Vegas. They play lots of games in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
How many wins for the Raiders, Rhino? How many wins?
9.
Whoa!
That's high.
Whoa!
That's super high.
That's their feeling.
That's high.
I think you go either between 7-9 and 9-7.
I think it's more likely they go 7-9, and it's not because they won't be like a competitive team, but like you said, like they're still missing some juice.
Yeah,
like they have some foundational pieces. They have some good, strong pieces to build around, so they can have a good team in the future. But right away, I think it's gonna be rough for them to get like 9 wins right away. Like I think, especially because of the division that they play in, the rest of the division is a step or two ahead of them. So I could see 7 games though. I could see 7 wins.
I think the big problem with the Raiders is their offense is more ahead than their defense. Their defense is going to be good, but they're not going to be better. They need at least a top 10 defense.
Yeah,
and they're still
which they probably won't have year one.
I like the cornerback they drafted, Porter. He's a burner. He's long. He's like a Richard Sherman kind of type. I like the fact that they signed Jeremy Chin in offseason. I love him. I liked him in Carolina. He's a baller. He's in between our safety linebacker dude.
He can do everything. Jeremy Chin can play every position on defense.
So it's good. It's just they need more pieces. We don't know if Christian Wilkinson's coming back. There's some stuff about his foot that's not actually healing right.
Sheesh.
So that hurts.
When I was asking for dogs, I wasn't just asking because I love dogs. That's why the Raiders. I know it was tempting. They wanted to go out and get the Ferrari. I get that. But I'm not sure if the rookie running back is the answer for this team. That's why I'm calling for dogs. The Broncos went and got some dogs.
Yeah.
The Raiders went and got Ashton Genty, and they didn't go and help Max Crosby. Max Crosby Max Crosby's a different conversation, but we know what his potential is, and he can be a game wrecker. Yes, okay. They've got Brock Bowers. Okay, nice weapon, really good weapon, I should say. We know
The weapon.
We're expecting either one of Jacoby Myers or Jack Besh to, provide again another solid target for Chef Gino. But when it's all said and done, this team needed a dog. Who was on the board when they selected Ashton Jeanty? I'm pretty sure Walker was.
The rest of the draft?
The whole entire, defensive end 2
Right.
was on the board. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Or DT 2 was on the board.
But the reason they did that though was specifically because they got Pete Carroll. So it's like, the Broncos went after dogs because they know their most important position is shored up. Like they know 1,000% that the guy that they have is the guy who is going to lead them. Whereas like the Raiders don't really know that, because the Raiders know Gino is okay. They know Gino's floor, but they don't know that they'll have, even that floor for the next 5 to 12 years, something like that. So it's like, it's hard. So you want to get the best weapon that you can and the biggest upgrade that you can. And that was at running back. Because
this team's not operating in a wide window.
No.
I mean,
not at all.
Why do you say that?
Because of Pete Carroll's age.
Yeah, Pete Carroll is on his second go round of like Social Security. Yeah,
that bubble gum is losing flavor.
Yeah,
That's crazy, man.
That bubble gum is not as fresh as it was. Look, I mean, I just kind of look at it like this. I hate to crush Raiders faithful, I really do. But with teams, I think all 3 of the teams we've already spoke about are going to get double-digit wins.
Oh,
Unfortunately, one team has to go 5-12.
They're not
unfortunately.
It's just go anywhere between 7, 9, 9, and 7. They're going to surprise people.
It's possible though. It's possible though that because the way so the way that I was talking about Denver being top heavy, it's the exact opposite for the Raiders, because they aren't really top heavy. They don't have that much talent. So the Raiders, if they lose one very good player, could literally win like 3 games next year. Could win like 3 to 5 games next year.
Yeah, I mean, and then much I love the whole offensive line, defensive line. They're just the defensive line isn't very impressive without Christian Wilkins there. Crosby's out there by himself. Like, because Kuntz is coming back, but Kuntz is coming off an injury. Tyree Wilson was a not looking like a very good pick. Defensive end,
because he was always a project.
And Chase comes back too. Chase was tearing it up along with Max Crosby. So and then they Landon Roberts as middle linebacker. He's a stud.
Yeah, we're just naming real middle of the pack guys.
Well, no, but I'm just saying their defense improved, but didn't improve to the extent of like the Broncos did.
Yeah, no.
So, but I think the offense is going to surprise people. I think the one person that the one person that's really going to surprise people is I'm a Jack Besh fan. Yes.
No, so mine. Yeah, big Jack Besh guy over here.
But I think
big Besh guy.
That's all right.
I think the hidden gem that they drafted was Deontay Thornton.
Yeah, that was another nice pick.
All right, buying or selling. Ashton Jeanty, RB5. That's overall running back 5 right now.
Selling.
On May 20th.
Selling. Because for him to be in the top 5, he'd have to have like 1,400 to 1,600 rushing yards.
That's RB5 and like 12th overall.
Well,
that's like overall.
Well,
12th.
On the other hand,
first round pick or at the 1-2 turn. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's
on the other hand, now that I think about it, Ashton Jeanty is an underrated receiver. Maybe,
of course,
just maybe the catches will get him there. I'm not gonna say top 5. I'm saying top 10. I'm still top 10. And I can't.
I think top 10.
I can't
Yeah.
top 5.
I think. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't. This is Bijan Robinson all over again. It's like for him to get to where he's being drafted, he would have to have like a historic season, and there are too many factors working against him for that historic season for it to actually happen.
And the
That's
running
what I
back,
think.
and the running back that was also drafted in the first round that season, Jahmyr Gibbs, who in fantasy finished about a couple of points, plus or minus a few, from Bijan Robinson, went at least 2 rounds later. So
Exactly.
it's not going to pay off at that price.
It's an uphill battle. Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, although he does have that pass catching chops, he's got that pass catching ability from not from this previous season at Boise State, from 2 seasons ago.
2 seasons ago, yeah.
And if you think about some of the other guys who've been drafted like in the top 5 who finished high their seasons, like guys like Zeke Elliott, for example, like he walked in to the league's best O-line. He was behind them.
Yeah.
So like automatically, like I called that pick from the moment he was drafted, and someone sniped me in my home league, and he made it to the finals. He didn't win, but I called that pick. Like I knew that ever since he got drafted. Like CMC got drafted to the Panthers. There was no competition in that room. He had Cam next to him that was opening up lanes. The Panthers had a really good O-line. Leonard Fournette played in a terrible division. Nobody could stop him because of how big he was and how fast he was. So it's like, I don't think that that's a situation for Ashton Genty.
No, it's not the best offensive line.
Right.
And we'll also leave the Goats with this little nugget. The Raiders and the schedule makers weren't that kind to them either. They have like a minus 19 in terms of like games rested.
Yeah.
In other words, you can interpret it the other way around. They don't have many days off. Not just the bye. Like, you know, they have short weeks. They have, 6-day weeks. They don't have much rest.
They did them no favors.
Yeah, they don't have the best schedule in terms of that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Great show.
Just so you guys know, see over here, this is my Raiders wall.
That's the Raiders wall?
That's my Raiders. The very first pitch right there is my favorite all-time Raider, Tim Brown, catching the ball.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, right here.
Awesome.
When I bought it like for $350, and it's signed.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And then that year he got in the Hall of Fame.
Oh wow. Yeah, I've seen some Tim Brown highlights. The guy was pretty nasty.
Oh yeah, for sure.
One of those he played a while, right? I mean, I just got into football when he was like on his last season, or maybe last 2 seasons. I remember when he played with Rice, so I remember that. But from there, a lot's happened between then and now. Yeah, a lot. In any event, we'll leave on that note. Goats, great show. We'll be back this Thursday. We'll get back into the Dynasty rookie mock drafts for you guys because we're still in Dynasty season. Mm-hmm. But look, we're almost at like full steam ahead. We're almost there. We're still in second gear. Yeah, we're gonna put more coals into the fire real soon.
Yep.
Coming at you 4 days a week. From there, it'll be 5 days a week right into the season. Plenty of stuff in store for you. Plenty of stuff in store in order to help you draft the best teams. In order for you guys to make the best decisions. We give you guys. We look forward to giving you guys advice only that the 4 of us would do for ourselves.
Yep.
That's key.
That's it. I'm suggesting that I wouldn't touch Travis Kelce with a 10-foot pole. So you wouldn't expect to see Travis Kelce on any one of my fantasy teams. Now, the reason that we get along so well is there's difference of opinions here. So I mean, doesn't necessarily mean that you won't find Travis Kelce on Rhino's team somewhere because
right.
They should.
If he fell to like the 7th round or something.
I think I've gotten him like the 10th round. That's Paul.
JX, when JX says he's burning for RJ Harvey.
For RJ Harvey, yeah.
Expect to see RJ Harvey on his team. He's planting the flag. JX Fantasy is going to ride and die with it. So yeah, I think you guys get the point.
Yeah.
We are officially on RJ Harvey watch.
Guys, pray for the tush push. Guys, if you're against the tush push, pray that you don't want it. Pray that they vote against it. That's coming up tomorrow. Look out
pray
for
my Jalen Hurts dynasty owners. They're shaking their boots right now.
Pray. And
how about people? They're gonna find a way to get around it if they do cancel that version of the tush push. They're gonna come up with another one.
Agreed. All they have to do is they'll oblige. If it's quote unquote banned, they'll oblige by the language that was voted on, and then they'll just schematically figure out their alternative to it.
They adjusted the language to say that like you can't pull or push a ball carrier, and I already thought of a way to get around that. The guys who usually push the ball carrier, have them push the line. Duh.
Yeah,
that's actually pretty good. I go.
Have them push the line.
Yeah.
How much? And I was thinking about this last night. How much momentum is Jalen Hurts really gaining when, in fact, he does actually need the running back to like nudge him forward? I'd argue that Jalen Hurts is doing all of it on his own with what he squats.
The man squats 600 pounds. Yeah.
How much is that push really affecting the play? So if they
I understand he squats 600 pounds, but all the defensive linemen also squat 600, 700, 800 pounds.
Yeah, but they also have guys in front of them who also bench 400, 500 pounds.
Exactly. And then he has two guys behind him. Saquon probably squats 1,000
pounds too.
And Dallas Goedert, he probably squats 700 pounds.
I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be able to execute some sort of variation to this, one way or another.
Honestly, I don't think they should get rid of it. I just think they should give the defense the opportunity to match it. Give the defense opportunity to match it. Like, just do that. Let them push back. You shouldn't just be able to just be, let people just run into your chest.
Right. If they do ban it, you know who would really benefit from this? AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon would benefit from this if they ban the tush push.
AJ Dillon, he's making a comeback.
Yeah, AJ Dillon.
He's making a comeback this season. AJ Dillon.
If they ban the tush push, you heard it here first. If they ban the tush push, AJ Dillon will have the funniest stat line in history.
Give us the over touchdowns. Give us over touchdowns.
He'll have like 80 carries throughout the season, like 300 yards, but he'll have 12 touchdowns. He'll have the most hilarious stat line you've ever seen by a running back.
The Bus had one of those seasons.
I don't think she's on anymore. Sniper Mel loves that guy. Holy shit.
What is it, like 3 carries, 0 yards, 3 touchdowns? Something like that?
Yep.
Insane. Oh, what's his name? Had one of those too. I always forget this guy's name. He used to play for the Vikings. He wore number 44, and he played when AP played. And he was a No, not him. I know his name. Like if you say his name, I'll realize what his name is.
Joe Hendry.
No, not Toby Gerhardt.
Oh, Matt Asiata.
Matt Asiata, yeah. Matt Asiata has a game like that too, where he has like 3 carries, 2 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Oh my gosh, I'm a nerd. Why do I know that?
I love it.
I love it too.
See you on Thursday, everybody.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Have a good night, Goat Nation.